The new kit is finally finished. The name of the kit is Myrtle Doves, and it was named by my friend Louise. Louise sent me a photo of the rug. I had asked for inspiration on Facebook for a new rug, and I decided to do this one. This is the one she sent. And I wanted to do it as close as possible to the original rug. This is a photo of the original rug. And it's quite good. It was not easy to do. It was very difficult because of the scale. To do a kit, I had to use 2-inch pennies, and I had to scale everything else to go with those 2-inch pennies. But I'm quite pleased with it. I will show you, it's a different way to set it out. You would normally think that you just put your birds in the corner, put this in the center, and then just fill it in with pennies, but that's not how it is. Trust me, I've done it 3 or 4 times and had to take it out. That's not the way it works. So I will show you basically how to do the rug, and then I will give you some information on the kit, because there is something about the binding that's a bit different. So we'll go on to our next video. As I mentioned, I had quite a bit of trouble with this kit, and it wasn't until I remembered something, a technique that I did from long ago, that it actually came together and I figured the rug out. Once upon a time, long ago, I wanted to be a Santa maker. And I really couldn't do the jolly, happy Santa faces. So I did the opposite of the good Santa Claus. It was the bad Belsnickles. And I would sculpt the faces. And I remembered when I sculpt, I would focus very much just on one particular spot. I wouldn't see the whole face. It would just be the one spot, and I would focus and I would work and just keep going, just spots at a time. And that's how I managed to do the rug, because, let's see if I can, instead of looking at the whole rug and trying to position everything, I started with little pieces. I noticed the tails go onto the binding. I noticed how far the pennies were, where the beak hits the penny, and so on. And actually I just worked small pieces, and that's how I made the rug. Of course, that's much too difficult for you to do. So I will show you an easy way to do it, and I'll give you some little tips to go along with it. The kit consists of course, the threads, the base, and the cutout pieces. The birds are not the same, so I have them labeled as 1, 2, 3, and 4. There is a right and wrong side to the basket and the stem, so I have those labeled. And then you have your pennies. Most are 2-inch for the large pennies. There are a few that are larger that will be down here at the bottom of the rug. And then there are the smaller pennies. So the easy way to do it, I'll just set it up. I'll stop the video and set it up and show you. So I have the base laid out, and I would like to mention that there may be some imperfections in your wool. This one has a small hole. It's just too good to discard, and something will cover that anyway. So And even if it doesn't, it's just nice to have an old look. And these are your templates. These are on wax paper. Tissue paper wouldn't work because you can't see through it. So these are drawn, they're not drawn neat. They're not neat. Luke's going to do them. Not that he doesn't do them neat, but they're difficult to draw on the wax paper. So you use your first one and you line it up. The top goes here, and this goes here, and that's all you do is put some pieces of tape on your wax paper. There, your template's in place. Now it's just as simple as starting with your larger pieces and the birds. You would fill those in on the top. Number one. This is number one, so I just lift the paper. I hope you can see this. Lift the paper and position it where it should be. And that looks pretty close. Sometimes close is not good enough in this rug because you'll run into problems with your pennies. So there. I think it's a little off. But there. That's my first piece. Next, I would put the stem, and I do the larger pieces first. A little bit more. A little bit this way. It's really quite easy, and that's in place. Then I would do the other bird, but I won't do that now. And once I have those in place, you can also do the pot, but you need the bottom piece to do the pot, so I would wait on that. So I would pin those, I lost my pins. So I would pin those in place. You may need to adjust them after you have the pennies on, so don't put too many pins in. This is just a rough layout. Okay, so we have, and I would have the bird. Then I'll start putting pennies in. And this is where I had the problem with doing the rug. It's the placement of the pennies. If you don't have everything where it should be, you don't have room for the pennies. And you'll end up that you'll only have 3, you won't have 4, you don't have enough room. It really was a mess. So then I just, the same as the birds and the stem, I'll just add pennies. And I actually should do this one first. And as I said, you will adjust these later, so it's just roughly where they should be. Much easier than trying to look at a photo and doing it. And you would continue on, adding your pennies this way, working from this way to the other side. Then pin them, as I did with the bird and the stem. And then I would remove this one And of course that will all be filled in. And I will do the same with this piece of wax paper. And the bottom of the wax paper goes to the edge of your wool, and there is a line that goes to the other edge. And then you would fill in the birds and the pot. And that's how you do the rough layout. Now, I'll show you a little bit, a few tricks, what to do as far as the pennies and really getting the layout the way it should be.